something strange is going on as we have multiple huge Lakers updates to go over today ahead of game one against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But we also have to discuss how something strange is going on with LeBron James as rumors and reports are starting to escalate surrounding his health in game one. We're going to break all that down in this episode, but before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. If you're enjoying the content, you're a part of that 90% who aren't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the day. The Lakers play playoff basketball tonight, and there's some interesting things to go over. We have a bunch of updates, some comments from the players, a ton of things to dive into, so let's not waste any more time. Let's start with the strange thing, though. And this is starting to, things have really started to pick up over the past, I covered it in yesterday's video a little bit, and I'm not here to say that it's, necessarily going to impact him game one. But you see this tweet that dropped an hour ago from Lakers Daily. Doesn't sound like LeBron is healthy going into game one. Article dropping soon with more details. Now, and of course, when this tweet came out, fans were up in arms. And I want you to leave down below your thoughts once I dive into this here. But we know that LeBron James is probable for tonight's game. And of course, he's been dealing with a groin issue, hip flexor, all these different things throughout most of the season. And heading into game one, we thought, he was finally healthy. And I still think that is the case to some degree. But this came out and people were worrying, okay, what is this new report? All these different things. And then again, with the injury report being that he is probable with a left hip flexor strain. So these are, of course, the backstory. But then this drops here. LeBron declines to say he's healthy ahead of game one versus the Timberwolves. I'm available. And basically, the article dives into the fact that Lakers head coach JJ Redick told the media after the contest that James was fine, but the league's oldest player did not suit up in the squad's season finale against the Trailblazers. And ahead of game one of the Lakers matchup versus the Timberwolves, James was asked if he's healthy and provided a non-committal answer to the all-important question. Specifically, he didn't answer the question directly and simply confirmed that he's available to play for the franchise. And I want to see, one of the reasons I'm making this video, I want to see what you guys think down below. Now, if you're unfamiliar, LeBron James was asked if he's healthy, and he just said, I'm available tomorrow. So he didn't clarify that he's 100% healthy. And there's a bit of a split, between the fan base here. Some of the fan base is saying, he's 100% healthy. That's what he's saying when he's saying he's available tomorrow. But there's also some side of it saying, okay, maybe he's a little bit injured. Maybe there's something going on there, and he just doesn't want to, commit to saying he's 100% healthy, in case, obviously, maybe performs better or anything like that, which, those are fans of other teams saying that. But regardless, you have these articles dropping. And I think there is something to be said about the fact that, he said he's available. And I'm just going to take it at face value and just say that he is, mostly healthy. He's ready to go. He wouldn't play, if he was severely injured. But at the same time, this is probably going to be one of his last playoff runs. And this is probably his best chance to win, a championship in a very long time since their championship back in 2019, 2020 in the COVID bubble. So it's interesting. And for him saying, again, the fan base is split, so I want you to leave in the comment section. Do you think him just saying that I'm available rather than saying I'm healthy, diving into the injury, all these different things, is A, because, he is hurt and he's just saying that he's available because he's going to play through it? Or B, do you think it's kind of mind games and that, yes, he's healthy, he's available, but he also doesn't want to tell, the opposition that he's 100% ready to go? Or C, do you think it's just as simple as, he's available tomorrow? Or is there a fourth option? Is there a D? Let me know down below. But again, he just said, quote, I'm available. And we know, he's fantastic season this year. And of course, we'll see tonight what level he's playing at, especially regarding his health, because if he's healthy, you can see it. We saw it when Luka was traded to the Lakers. His level of defense elevated. He's playing at an all NBA defensive level. JJ Redick literally came out and said he's playing at an all-team defense level before he went down with his groin injury. Now, of course, left hip flexor strain injury, all these different things. And he's probable, but he is on the injury report. Now, for the Timberwolves, it'll be interesting to see if they, if they think he's injured, if they try to abuse it. But regardless, something strange going on with all these different rumors and reports flying surrounding this specific topic. And again, I'm inclined to believe he's fine. I think he's probably going to be, healthy. He conditions himself better than any athlete we've ever seen. So there's a bunch of different, positives and things stretching his way in the positive regard. But at the same time, there is still in the back of your head, he is 40 years old. He's going to be playing throughout, he's playing throughout the entire series, all these different things. And the question's always going to be there, right? And one of the biggest, question marks going forward is going to be how will his body hold up throughout the entirety of the playoffs. I think it's going to be fine, but it is something to be said, especially with all these rumors dropping. This article scared a lot of people when he said that, it doesn't sound like LeBron is healthy going into game one. So it's going to be interesting in the comment section down below. But let's dive into some other things here. Rudy Gobert. He spoke out prior to playing the Lakers in this afternoon's game, and he said, I'm very likely to be crossed over. It's very likely that people are going to hit some tough shots over me, and then I might get dunked on. All that stuff might happen, but let's see what happens over hundreds and hundreds of possessions. And, of course, he's referring to, a bunch of different things. Of course, Luka Doncic, hitting a step-back dagger game winner on him a couple of years ago, all these different things in the last series, the time the, Mavs played the T-Wolves. But at the same time, he has an interesting point. Of course, he's going to say that about himself. I think the Lakers can abuse him, defensively. I really do, especially if you're playing 5 out, all these different things, get him in the pick and roll. He is a fantastic rim protector, but the way that this Lakers team is built, and the reason I have the Lakers in 5 is because I just think they're going to be able to abuse some of the matchups that are specifically, designed, like the team is designed, the Lakers that is, to abuse teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves right now. The Warriors, I think, would have been a much worse matchup for the Lakers. And I mean, there is a chance the Warriors do end up playing. If they beat the Rockets, they play the Lakers if the Lakers win this series. And I don't want to get them ahead of myself there, but it's an interesting comment by Rudy Gobert to kind of see what's in his head ahead of what's going to be. He knows he's the focal point of, the team's defense, at least, especially from the Lakers' point of view. Like, there's been so many media reports, all these different things talking about how Rudy Gobert is going to be, he's not going to be able to stay on the court, all these different things, especially with the Luka Doncic flashback. So it's going to be interesting to see how it, factors in there. We also have LeBron James, and he was asked if the Lakers have the ingredients to win a championship this season. He says, yes, of course. And of course, there was times where earlier this season, even just a couple weeks ago, he was saying they still have some work to do, all these different things. And of course, there's always work to do for these teams, but we are now just not days, we're hours, it's crazy to say, hours away from the LA Lakers playing playoff basketball. And it is a little bit crazy to think about, how this season started. Anthony Davis now is out of the playoffs. The Lakers hopefully are going to be able to take care of business in pretty easy fashion against the Timberwolves, but you never really know. Like, we are Lakers fans getting to watch Luka Doncic play basketball, which is something that is a little bit crazy. And I think it's crazy for Luka as well, because he said here that Luka wants to win in LA. You've been there. You could have won, but you lost. I want to be a champion, and that's all you can think about when you lose. It was devastating. Yes, the team has what it takes. It's going to take everything. And absolutely, one of the things that isn't spoken about a ton, like obviously it's spoken about that Luka Doncic was in the finals last year, but he has a championship, caliber mentality. Yes, he hasn't won one like LeBron James has, multiple, but Luka Doncic, he was there last year. He knows what it takes to get all the way to the finals. He can prepare some of the other guys. Him and LeBron James, I don't know if you could ask for a better duo to kind of mentor some of the young players, even though Luka's young himself. Of course, he has experience well beyond his years. And as you look at the matchups, everyone's good to go. LeBron's going to be playing. Of course, the starting 5 is probably going to remain what it's been most of the season. We'll see how quick JJ Redick turns to Dorian Finney-Smith and whoever else at the 5, if Jackson Hayes is getting abused, or vice versa with Rudy Gobert. Of course, you look at the lineup for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Conley, Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert. Something to keep an eye out on for tonight's game is going to be Jaden McDaniels specifically, seeing how he, guards Luka Doncic and seeing how the Lakers, another thing to keep an eye out for is, of course, keep an eye out on Mike Conley. Keep an eye on Mike Conley. He's going to be probably getting abused offensively. It's something that I think is not spoken about a ton. I think JJ Redick's planning something and scheming something that's going to be able to abuse the matchups, which you have to, right? The Timberwolves are a very big team. They're a very interesting team, minus Mike Conley. Defensively, they have a great bench. So you got to get out to a hot start. And luckily in the playoffs, the stars are what matters. And keep an eye out for all of that. Oh my God. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap it up. Let me know below what your thoughts are. We're super close to playoff time. Keep you up to date with all the latest news. Cheers.